So I've been thinking about building a coffee table out of, I'm going to call it the cammed coffee table, out of a couple cams, and I'm going to put it on a 45-ish angle, build a base plate. Not sure what I'm going to put on the bottom, I might put nothing. But yeah, then the cams will come up, build another frame, and then I'm going to put a bit of either red gum or some sort of hardwood on the top, and yeah, put like a lacquer on there or something. That'll look cool. But yeah, I'm going to go down the shed in a sec and start fucking around with it. I had one cam left, LS1 cam, and I wanted to make sure I had to like get another one the same. Luckily enough, I just went down to the engine shop then, and they had one LS cam in the scrap bin that just fucking got rid of all their scrap, so I was really lucky to find that. Except mine looks brand new because it's a brand new cam, and then theirs is a rusty, so I'll have to rust mine up to make it look the same because it look better if they were both rusty. So yeah, I'll go down there and start getting my head around it. It'll probably take me a while to build this one. I don't think it's going to be done in one video. Yeah, I think it'll be a decent sized project. There's a lot of thinking. If it comes up really cool, it's probably something I'm going to build to sell, so I want to make sure it looks really good. So I've got this bit of steel that I'm going to use for the frame, and these are my cams that I've got. So yeah, I've just got to start getting my head around how I want to build it. So just went down to the shed. And got some other steel, but this says 50mm box, and that's 25. So I'm thinking I'll actually build the frame out of that, and I'll just use this going across where the cams are. Right, so I've decided I'm going to go cut up the steel. I'm going to build the table 600 wide by 1200, and then my slab of whatever I end up putting on the top, whether I put bits of timber or a slab of, I'm thinking a slab of red gum at this stage. This place that sells red gum slabs down in Freshy Creek, so I was thinking, yeah, I could put one of those on the top, support local sort of thing. So I'm going to go cut out, I need 4 bits at 1200 and 4 bits at 600, and then I need 2 bits of that steel at 600, so I'm going to go cut those out down at the other shed. And then I'll bring it back up and start fucking around with it. Got my bits of steel. I'm still going to cut 45s and stuff on them, but I'll do that in the other shed. We'll just cut them up to size and get them down the other shed and start mucking around with them. So what I'm thinking is that these would I definitely didn't cut enough of those. I didn't realise that. So I'll be cutting these on 45 and then joining it together because I don't want to have crappy looking ends. But we'll basically have that, and then somewhere along here, probably around there somewhere, we'll have that, and then I'm going to cut a hole out of here, and then we'll insert the cam into that hole and weld it up. And then on this side, up here, we'll have the same sort of thing. I've got to figure out what distance I want the cams. I'm thinking about sitting them in a bit, you know, so that they're sort of hidden, but then they're there, you know, at the same time. So then yeah, we'll have it like that, and then I'll build another frame on the top, which will home the actual top of the table. So because I never planned things out, I realised that I'm not going to want to have two of these the same size, because then my slab of bread gum, which is what I think I will go with, has to be bigger, no matter if it has imperfections. So like then it could end up being a huge fucking slab of red gum to be able to cover that rectangle, and then that's just too big, you know. It's not a coffee table, it's a fucking proper table. So what I've done is I've cut some 600. So we'll do the same thing. I'll put my bar here, it'll come up. Then when it gets up to the top, I'm just gonna have, so that these end up being in the sky like that, here, with the crossbar across it, and the bottom one at the top, and then I'll drill some holes through here and here. And then when I get my red gum, I can screw my red gum up in 4 spots. But that way it's got to be wider than this table, but it doesn't need to be, because it depends on what sort of thing it's going to be, you know. Like even being as wide as a table, I don't even know whether I should make it, which I think I might. I might make the whole thing narrower, you know. Maybe I'll make it 100mm each side narrower at the top. And then that way, like, you've got the bigger surface area, so no one's gonna. It's a problem that I thought. You build a little stand and you put this big slab of red gum, which a lot of people do, but then someone goes to sit on the side of the table, it tips over. So this will have a nice base plate on it. But yes, I think I'm going to cut my 45s, weld this rectangle together.
And I still back all these lads and can't stop shit, then I'm making a blast up. Now I'm tomorrow morning, you're talking out, you're on the move, hoping. In this logic, I'm back in the head, but I'm somebody's son next door.
Alright, so I have welded this up, which is my base plate. Come up quite well, if I must say so myself. Nice and square. So now, the next thing to do is, so we've got to cut this around here on both sides, and then that'll drop it down flush, and then we're going to cut up on an angle on a 45 and then fold that down just so that it looks like it's meant to be, because I didn't want to build the whole thing, as I said, out of this, because it would just look like too much overkill and it would be fucking heavy. So we'll just do this for the cam mounts, which will give us a nice place to drill a hole and mount our cam in and get our angle nice and nice.
Back to right where I first.
Where I've got to install my cam, put the big cam package into my table. It's going to be lumpy. That's a terrible lumpy cam. No, can't do it. Right, cool. Good story. That was fun. I'm thinking that I'm just going to get a hole saw and drill a pilot hole, and then just hole saw in on like a 45, and then slide this in about halfway, so this bit here, the very back of the cam, will be touching the back, and then the front will be somewhere around the front. Then we can sort of position up where we want to do it and weld it in. Side where my cams. Some bearings in here. So, yeah. Originally, I was going to have them quite far out, you know, like that, having 100mm from each side. But as I'm making a smaller top for it now, I thought it'd be better to have them in. So my thought process was, I mean, 300 is the center, and then I was thinking I'd just go 100mm either side of the center to the center of my pin. So therefore, I'll be drilling my hole right on that edge. Cam will be like that, which sort of cam set into the table, because I'd like this table from one angle of your living room. When you walk in, it'll look kind of like it's floating, because you won't see the cams, because it'll be all dark underneath there. So it'll be only from a certain spot, so you'll be like, oh, motherfucker's got some cams under his table. Hey. Cheeky. Yeah, let's drill some holes. I have no idea exactly how much I spent on this drill, but I know it was a shitload of money, and I barely ever use it, so I need to start. Just always end up whacking everything with vice. Can never be fucked setting this up. Oh, that wasn't a good start. The drill bit in here. Speed up and up. Well, that was pissing me off, so I'm gonna come over and do it the normal way. Right, so maybe it wasn't just that drill press, maybe it's just a cunt. Hole 2, so then my guide hole's done. Now I'll just sort out my hole saw. Well, it's pretty much exactly the same size, is it? Way too big. So I'll go with this one. Holes are in. Let's check this fucker out. We'll have to do some grinding and stuff first, but oh, that's cool. Needs to be much closer than that, but it's been pretty cool. Good morning, Australia. So I was laying in bed last night thinking about this. And it's going to be a while until I actually finish it all. But what I'm thinking is I was going to put something on this base originally, but I'm thinking I'm just going to paint not the cams but this bit and this bit all black, and leave it open. But I'm open to suggestions, so let me know what you guys think. I first thought like yesterday was to put like a black checker plate on here so that it's like a bottom, so that then people can, or me, so I'll keep this one, but you can put stuff on there underneath the table. But I was like, you could leave it just all black, and then if you've got, you know, a wooden floor or carpet underneath there, you can see it. Yeah, so I wasn't too sure. Today we're going to build the top part here. So I'll build my tube and my braces to go this way, and then I'll weld all this up. And then I don't think I have any black paint, but if I've got some black paint I might give this a quick coat. Otherwise that'll be something we'll have to do on another day.
The thing we really own is our memories, yeah.
Yesterday I actually made a bit of a mistake because I cut this tube square and then cut my 45 like pizza bit out, folded it down. I've actually got a gap down here, which I would have thought it would be even, but obviously I was wrong. So the ones that we're making for the top, I've actually left it about 10 mil longer each side. So then I'll cut my 45 out up to here, but then I'll cut this whole thing out. And then by the time I fold it back down, it should either be flush or overlap a little bit. And if it overlaps a little bit, that's fine, because you can just cut it off and then you can mold it up and square. So you can see how I've cut out this one. I'm going to cut out this one. So see how I've allowed that extra 10 rather than last time that was square. So I'm going to cut this out from here all the way over to there, but by the time I fold this down, this should end up either even with here or a little bit past, and we can chop it off. But I'll end up with a lot nicer than that one. Now I'll cut those up, and then we'll fold them, and then once that's ready to go, then I've got to drill these out. We're going to drill a hole straight through, and then I'll drill a bigger hole in the top so that way I can put a screw through here into, once it's upside down, you're putting a screw through into the timber that's on top to hold it in place. Getting these top mounts ready, and as you guys would get inside the pipe here, you know, you get all the shit. Get yourself a pipe reamer from Plumbing Hardware. I use it all the time at work for copper and stuff like that. Done. Another tool to get yourself is one of these. It just reams out the hole to different sizes. It costs you about $50. You can get them at Bunnings or probably Total Tools, stuff like that. But fuck, they're just so handy if you need to like get a hold of a bigger size rather than keep moving up and drill bits. So I've cut all this up, drilled all my holes. I've pretty much got everything ready to go, and I've mocked this up, got everything nice and parallel. So what you do from here, what I'll do, is just throw a tack in each of these corners of these tubes, and then that way, while if I go to weld this, right, and then I accidentally knock this side and then it's out of square, then you're going to weld the whole thing up and then be like, oh fuck. So just throw a tack weld somewhere where it's not really going to be seen. Doesn't really matter, you can grind it off anyway. That'll lock it in, and then I'll tack weld here, 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 and then come back around and weld there, and work my way around, distributed in the heat nice and evenly. And I'm going to weld up this complete top part, and then once that's welded up, I'll cut it off the bench and take it out of the way. And then we've got to figure out exactly where where these two are going to sit, because I haven't welded this on yet, because I'm not sure exactly like the angle of the cam to where the top part's going to be as well. So I need to, once I've got this welded up, then I can mock everything up again and see where I'm going to want this to sit, and then I'll put this back and weld this up, and then I'll be able to somehow get this to hang, and then I'll weld all the cams and everything up. So yeah, the next stage is to get this welded up, so we'll do that now and then we'll move on to the next bit. Alright, so I've got all this mocked up where I want it. I'm thinking, and I could be completely wrong here because I have not done any research on this, but the lever point to me would be in the center of this. So I'm putting my brackets either side of the center of that. So the pressure to me theoretically should be on the center of these cams, and they're so strong it shouldn't matter. But I could be wrong. I'm sure someone will tell me. Anyway, so to get it, I've got to weld those into that bottom one and weld up that bottom plate. So while I'm doing that, I've just got this bit of bar, and these cams have a little locator at the top on both of them. So I'm just going to line those up with these marks that I've made, which means that the center of those bottoms is the same as the center as the top. And I'll just tack weld these on here so that it stays straight, and then I'll pull those cams in and out to where I want them, and I'll start welding those up, and then get it all done, weld it all up, and then once those are welded, I'll cut this off, and then we can sit our top plate on and figure out how I'm going to get that to sit there while I weld it up. But I'm kind of hoping that once I've welded this bottom part up, that I can flick these jack stands this way and sit them on there, and it'll hold that bracket, and then I've just got to sort of level it up. But bit by bit, we'll get this welded onto here. Well, actually I need to grind these up, so I have to move this out of the way, grind that up, put it back, and then we'll sit the cams back in there, tack all the cams in, and then we're off. So I've got everything tacked up, leveled, but I think squaring up these cams that way has been quite tricky because they're so uneven. So I think I've got them square. I've got that rod welded up the top of here anyway, to keep those 200mm apart, because that's where the holes are on the other one. So I should be right, but can't really got one shot at it once I weld all this up. It doesn't fit in the other side. I'm counterfeit. That's just sitting up there at the moment. I've got to tack weld that on, but looks pretty good. Should work quite well. Because obviously whatever, if I get a red gum slab, it's not going to be perfect, so I'm thinking like you sit the better end up this end, and then if it's like, curves in or whatever, it can, and this end, it's not a big deal. Whereas if I had built this the same size the whole way up, I would have had to get a massive slab of red gum, which would have ended up way too big. Literally all it's got to cover is this area here, and then if it comes into like a point or something, it doesn't matter. In fact, it would probably be cool if it was a little bit narrow on this side, because then the cams would stand out a bit more. It's definitely coming together. I'm going to do some more welding now. I'm going to have to weld as much as I can as the top bit. Oh, I might be able to get underneath there. I probably wouldn't bother though. I reckon I'll weld up as much as I can to the top bit because I still need a weld in here underneath those. So I figure I'll weld the tops, tack that on if I can, and then I'll flip the table upside down and weld up the rest. Which I've got to cut it off here anyway because I've tack welded it onto here because I didn't want to, just in case the balance was out, or you know, I didn't want it to bow or whatever while I welded it up. People probably wouldn't agree with this because of, you know, and I don't really particularly like doing it, but I bolted up all the hard sections and just trying to get into, like, you know, little bits and pieces, strap it up to the roof, and then, you know, I can get in here and tack all that up. I'm really not going to cause a lot of heat welding up those. I've already welded up all the main stuff, so yeah, I'm not too worried about it. And at least that way it's welded, it's easy to get in there, you're not going to fuck the weld up. So yeah, I've just got to weld up a few more things and then I'll flip it over, and then I've got to weld up these, which is going to be a bit interesting because there's a fair bit of a gap there, but I'll weld up those and then pretty much I'm done for now until I get my top. Yeah, I'll get into some more welding and I'll come back to you. Just realised I put these on the wrong way, so those holes are kind of sunk in the wrong direction. It's not ideal. I think what I'll do though is probably just I can either just drill another hole either side of them to mount it up, but I'll probably just use a longer screw or something. I'll think about it, or I could even just weld that up, put a washer over it or something. I'll figure it out. It's a bit silly. I think I thought I was building this the other way around, but I don't know how I fucked that up. But it's fucking solid as. I'm just about to weld up those. It's coming up real good. Happy with it, it's nice and strong. It's definitely going to be a good coffee table, that's for sure. So it's not a real big deal in the end. I was going to use these 25mm wood screws that so that they'd only just go from like a little bit in, but I've actually got the 50mm ones, so I'll just screw it up from the bottom. No big deal. Not as big a fuck up as I thought. It's not ideally what I'd like to do because I prefer to countersink my screws in so you can't see them. But it is what it is. The table's coming up really well, so I'm happy with it. Now I've just got to, I'll give it a, I welded up all these, so it actually wasn't that hard in the end. So just give those a quick grind, make them look a bit prettier. I won't go too crazy for now because I'll end up probably welding other things and doing this and that, so I've just been getting everything neat as I go. And then I'm going to set this project aside for a while because yeah, I've got to find a nice slab of red gum or figure out what timber I want to do, so probably a few weeks till I get back into this one. Alright, so that's it for me today. I've got this to a point that I can't really do anything more until I get my tabletop, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned because I'll be back on this soon. Might even start another project in the middle, I'm not too sure, see how I go. Yeah, so I'm just going to pack up now and then I'm out of here, so have a good one.